Today we're doing a Pakistani Nikah look. This is for a pre-wedding event. She wanted something really pink and pretty and full coverage glam, so it's going to be a fun walkthrough. I'll do a product description below of everything that I used. So I started with a good moisturizer and a hydrating primer and then topped it with a facial mist so it could really soak in while I started with the brows. Because this is going to be a heavier eye makeup look, I knew that the brows needed to be defined. So it's a blonde pencil to start, and this was for the perimeter of the entire brow. And then I went in with a deeper brown shade for the arch and the tail so that I could add some hair-like strokes where it was missing in a few spots and a few at the beginning of the brow as well. Next, I went in with a concealer to reverse conceal the brows, and this was just done at the base of the brow on the brow bone to sharpen the edge of the line and to correct anything that needed to be a little bit more defined. This is now blended into the rest of the eye with a fluffy concealer brush, and then used a Painterly Paint Pot eye base for the rest of the lid. For the transition shade, I went in with a mauvey tone. It's just a soft pink all over the eye, into the crease, and blended up towards the brow bone. And because she had a hooded lid, we decided to do a spotlight in the middle. This is with the same concealer that I used for the brow sharpening, and I used a bit of it just to create a little bit of extra stickiness to the lid, and then blended it out with a clean brush to soften the edges. To deepen the outer corner of the eyeshadow, I used a charcoal gray, and I did it with her eyes open so we could really see what was going to show when her eyes were fully open, and I focused that on the outer 2/3 of her eye. And on the lid, it was actually just a pink shade, a matte pink, and a lilac in the center of the lid to give a little bit of extra color for this shimmer we're about to put on top. I reached for a shimmery pink highlighter to put into the inner corner and all over the lid as the base. And then on top, I used a glitter liner from Urban Decay in a pink tone. It's an iridescent shade that kind of just added that extra sparkle over the rest of the lid. So when she blinks, it's really pretty. Then we decided to go one step further and added a shimmer in the inner tear duct area. For color correcting under the eyes, I used a Kevyn Aucoin number 9 that I find works really well if used sparingly. So I'm letting that set down first, and then I went back to the eye and started with a gel liner really close to the lash line. And this is in a charcoal rather than a black, so it wasn't quite so harsh. And I did go in with the black second in the Inglot gel just to create more definition along the lash line and to sharpen that wing. So we took a little time here just to make sure the wing looked perfect and extended. Then we used the pencil and the lower lash line as well. This is the same charcoal shade, and we kept it just inside the eye, focusing a little bit more attention to the outer corner. Here's when the fun starts. We got really full coverage. I added in some Marc Jacobs Remarcable foundation drops into my foundation, so it was full coverage. And because we were lifting her complexion a shade to match the rest of her body, I had to also go down her neck and into her décolletage area with this foundation and make sure everything was really nice and blended. For ultimate brightness, I like using a liquid concealer and apply it pretty heavily with a synthetic brush so that it's evenly distributed throughout the area that I want brightened. And as it's drying down and getting patted out, it starts to set a little bit so that when you go in with a sponge, you're really only setting it further by creating a little bit more air onto the surface of it, really pressing it into the skin and blending it around the perimeter into the foundation versus taking off the coverage. So we really created a flawless full coverage under eye and set it immediately before it had the opportunity to crease with a loose translucent powder, but not the rest of the face yet, because next I'm going in with the cream contour. I think I was blocking the camera when I got this on her face. So this is me blending it out around her jawline, cheekbones, and nose. And then I went in with a cream blush as well. blended that out with a brush. And to set the rest of the face now, it was with foundation powders. Mostly Studio Fix and Charlotte Tilbury, but I tried to set the highlights with a lighter powder and the contours with a medium tone powder. Now I could do the blush on top, and I don't think I've ever just done one blush tone, so this is a mixture of a few. And this is the stage where I'll do a little bit of color to the lower lash line, and usually with the bronzer first, just to create some warmth and shape. And I was feeling like her eyes were getting quite almond shaped, and they are already that shape. So it was a nice way to round out the perimeter of the eye by adding bronzer into the middle of the crease to open it up and around the lower lash line and really smoke it out. With a facial mist first, a setting spray, I'll moisten the skin and then I'll put the highlighter on top. So we kept it pretty golden and glowy because she wanted to look very dewy. And then we did a mascara base on those lashes so that they would look ultra black before we popped on her false lashes. These are from Thread Beauty, and they're the lightest of the styles that they have, but I thought they looked so beautiful. Now, before we do lips, I usually try to see the outfit color. So we took off her apron, I pulled down her hair so we could really see the coloring around her face, and because she was wearing a nose ring for this look, I had to opt for a very matte liquid lipstick so that it would not smudge, because there was going to be some contact with the nose accessory that she was wearing. And after the liquid lipstick, I just reverse concealed the perimeter of the lip a little to sharpen the line because I wasn't using any lip liner. Here's a quick hair tutorial too. I decided to include this as well because her hair was going to be covered. We tried to do a quick one, but here's the parting of her updo, leaving the crown out. I decided to just put it into a low ponytail, and doing this first eliminates you having to curl the entire head. So I used an elastic for the base and then straightened around the edges of the crown hair so that it looked seamless and there was no kinks. After using some texture powder in small sections, I teased that entire section so that it could have some extra density and height, and I made sure that every part of it was teased because I was adding some filler, but I needed it to grip onto something so it wasn't going to be sliding around. This is to create density under the dupatta so that it doesn't collapse under the weight of something pinned on top. So this is getting pinned in with about 6 or 7 jumbo bobby pins. And I used a double-decker Masuda Face hair donut, like 2 layers of it, just to create that extra density. And then I pulled the hair down taut and smooth before pinning it, and did a little twist at the seam of it so that it was pretty, but that was an easy way to secure it. And then with my fingers, I just texturized the base of it and pulled out some outer layers around the sides of the hair so that it would be a little bit of a more flattering shape on her head and not look so tall but also wide. I did double elastic this because I wanted some more security, and her hair is super thick, and this is where I just curled the base of the ponytail. Then straightening around the front of the face helped smooth out whatever was left open because she had her hair blown out, but her hair is naturally curly, so had some frizziness at the base around the face, and we wanted to make sure it was super smooth. This is where we put in her Jumar, and with 1 U-pin and 1 crisscross bobby pin, it felt very, very stable. With a little bit of tease at the hairline there, I decided to smooth back the other side so it was clean, and it went right into the back ponytail. And I wish she was turned the opposite direction so you could see this, but this is so simple. I just knotted her hair. So this is 2 pieces tied in a knot and pulled. That middle was actually screwed in with a screw bobby pin. I use those for really thick hair sometimes because it tends to hold multiple parts of the hair in one pin. And I use 2 screw bobby pins for this bun. I will show it on another occasion. And then with the leftover hair that was around the bottom, it was sealed around the top, and that's what created this nice, pretty, easy sock looking bun with a pretty hair accent around the perimeter of it. How nice. This is the finished product. So she's done. She's gorgeous. It was really pink and pastel and beautiful. We added some floral around the side where her hair was going to be exposed. Just a rosette and some baby's breath behind her ear because her dupatta was being held back on that side. So there was space for flowers. And I loved the finished product. She looked so glowy and gorgeous. I hope you did too.